need to understand the new Muslim themselves. You need to understand your audience, right? So for example, a new Muslim can be 15 years old, 23-year-olds, 25-year-olds, from different country, and so many other things. And we'll talk about what are some of the things that you need to think about, right? You cannot have a cookie cutter solution that, you just have something and then you give it to the same thing to the same person, right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work for non-Muslims when you're giving them Dawah to Islam, and it would not work for new Muslims either. Okay, so obviously I know, inshallah, most of you or many of you have witnessed Shahada, right? And, obviously you have a certain thought process going on in your mind. You probably are thinking something about that person or the person who invited them to Islam, and so on and so forth, right? So remember and think about, what do you typically feel when you see someone taking Shahada? So I have some pictures for you to jog your memory. Okay, so here are some other things, guys. Please participate. New Muslims, do you think that new Muslims usually have a stronger iman than born Muslims because they chose to be Muslims? Yes or no? Please type your answer. Okay, good. Next question. New Muslims need extra support because of their situation. Okay. New Muslims are more tested than other Muslims. Okay, mashallah. Good. All right, so let me share with you my views on this. And again, this is not my theoretical views, but based on experience and data. So first of all, if I were to say new Muslims, usually I would say, and you guys will be shocked at this, and it's important to be shocked, we are all here to learn. New Muslims usually in most of the cases do not have a stronger iman than born Muslims. Okay, this is very important to realize. Okay, this is the reason this happens is we are thinking about the times of Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Okay, even if you think about that time, okay, remember what happened. When did the munafiqeen started coming? Were there any munafiqeens in Makkah? Right, think about it. Were there any munafiqeens in the Meccan period? Why did the munafiqeen started coming in Medinan period? No, in the Meccan period of Dawah, were there any munafiqeens? Islam was not popular. It costed people to become Muslims in the Meccan period. There was no worldly benefit of becoming a Muslim during the Meccan period of Dawah. Okay, it was in the Medinan period that people had societal or community benefits of becoming Muslim. And that's why you had munafiqeen, because why would someone pretend to be Muslim and while not being a Muslim? Because they had benefits. There was no such benefits in the Meccan period. Okay, so now in today's world, in general, there is not a lot of consequence to taking Shahada. Okay, many people take Shahada for different reasons. I was actually, subhanAllah, one of the sheikhs told me that, when they give dawah to South Koreans, they sometimes take Shahada because from their culture, they don't feel like saying no to you. So even if they don't agree, they will take Shahada. Okay, sometimes people take Shahada because they want to marry a person who is a Muslim. Sometimes they take Shahada because they see their brothers or sisters there into Islam. They feel good about it. They want to relate it. They want to be part of that community. And many, many other reasons. It does not mean that the person is saying, you know what, I'm going to change my life from today and I want to be like exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to be. Even the prominent new Muslims that we have, who are our leaders and our mashayikh today, who are our scholars or du'ats who are new Muslims, even, now everything is available, right? So you go and take a look at their podcast, right? Or their stories of conversion. The first week, the first day, the first month, usually they're not really into Islam. Usually, okay? I'm not saying always, but I'm saying mostly. So that's something very important to realize. And because if you don't realize that, then what you would be giving, remember somebody asked in the chat, what is the first and most important thing to teach them? Well, you will be doing that based on your thinking that the person is fully convinced and committed to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, in terms of the new Muslim needing extra support, that also, support, by support here, obviously we mean societal support. Okay, so that's a different thing. And then obviously most of you guys got that right. New Muslims are not tested tested more than other Muslims. Everybody will be tested. So just because someone is a new Muslim does not mean that they will be tested more. Okay, can you define? Okay, great. Jazakallah khair. So this is something that will come in actually next or in a few slides. What is a new Muslim? Okay, so we'll come to that inshallah. Okay, so here, what are some of the common challenges faced by new Muslims? So if you guys can type that in, that would be great. I'm going to show you a list in about 10 seconds. Okay, so guys, this is true. All these 12 points are true. But I just want you to think, one of the key things that we have talked today is to not be naive and use your critical thinking and to analyze and to be smart. And that is one of my key messages today. Obviously, there are many other messages, but that was one of the key messages. Okay, and one of the things I would like to say is, yes, these are the challenges that are faced by new Muslim, but the key question to think about is, are they facing this challenge because of Islam, or Islam just happens to be there as well and is not a cause? Okay, that's something to think about. So anything that you see here, including abandonment by family and friends, okay, in my experience, especially in the part of the world that we live in, I haven't seen new Muslims being abandoned because of their religion. Yes, there are new Muslims who have been kicked out of their homes, and I personally know them, okay? But in more scenarios that I've worked with, I'm not saying all of them, and the reason I'm saying this is for us to be critical and analytical, is because of something else. So they may have some other issue like, laziness, lack of going for work, lack of discipline, working a day and then quitting the job, having a drug problem, and so on and so forth. So it's important to understand that, is it Islam or is there something else? Because if you understand the right thing, then you can inshallah connect them with the right resources. Otherwise you'll be thinking, and it has happened, right? There's a group of brothers and sisters, they got together, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them. Hey, you know what, there's a new Muslim and he has been kicked out of his home, so we need to find him a place. And they collected the rent, and then they put the brother in one of the brother's house. He gave him a basement to rent or something. And I was telling them, guys, don't rush into it. Let's figure out what's happening. And then 3 weeks or 1 month down the road, now they're trying to figure out, how do we kick him out of the guy's basement, right? Because they did not understand there was some other problem going on. That's why his family wanted him out. So it's very important to realize that, sometimes he may need to be in a rehab and not in a home. So it's important for us to not be naive about this, and many other things like that. So that's one of the things that I would like to say is like, be critical and understand what is happening, and then we'll talk about that inshallah as well. Okay, so that is my thing. What is Islam a cause or just a correlation? So always ask about this. Okay, so now here's something important that we already discussed, that are because of them choosing Islam, or is it something else? So always remember that inshallah. So here's a question for you. Okay, so now the person has taken Shahada. Would you start teaching him the Salah? Because, in a few hours, he'll have to establish Salah. So you may have 15, 20 minutes with him. Should you start teaching him Salah or not? Just something for you to think about. So guys, remember this thing. When he leaves the masjid, he still has his old habits, as some of you already pointed out. May Allah reward you. He has his friends, he has the social media, he has work, if he has work, or he has friends, he has parties, he has different things to go to, right? So most of the time, his mind is not thinking about, okay, I need to learn Salah, I need to learn Arabic, I need to figure out what is the next time of prayer. So this is very important, is what is on top of his mind, not yours. Okay, your mind may be Salah, but it may not be on his mind. So until you make that shift, teaching him the Salah would not be the best thing. Okay, so we have some stories that you guys can check out inshallah once you get the thing. Okay, so here are the 3 elements that you need to think about when you are understanding a new Muslim. And this is not on day 1 only, but even the 2nd week, the 3rd week, the 4th week. Whenever you're working with someone, these things would help you understand and try to use the right tool and the right resources for that person. Okay, number 1 is, what is their motivation level? how important Islam is in their life. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, you know, somebody takes Shahada, people come to me and say, oh, he should change the name, you know, or he should change, you know, the clothing he's wearing or the earrings he's wearing. Yeah, first of all, some of the things that you're saying may not even be a requirement, such as changing the name. Second thing is, just because he has taken Shahada doesn't mean that he's willing to do everything you're going to tell him. So first thing, understand, like, you know, what is his commitment like? You know, understand by talking to him, understand by testing him out. You will realize, as we will discuss, you will figure it out. Second thing is also to understand the social challenges that the person may have. So this is something that came up earlier. He may or she may have a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Okay, they may have, you know, they may be homeless, or they may be really struggling with their finances. Okay, if that is the cause, if that is an issue, if that is a challenge in their life, don't be naive that, oh, this is because of Islam. Understand what is the actual cause of it. And then psychology, right? So sometimes people may have different traumas or mental or psychological condition, and sometimes it may be very severe. So being aware of these three dimensions, or these three elements, or these three pillars will help you better understand a new Muslim, and not just have, like, you know, one cookie cutter solutions for everyone. Okay, now here's something very important as well. So what I'm saying is, if you don't see progress in a week or in a month, don't think, oh, it's a lost cause, let me move on. Okay, that is a wrong approach. I have someone, alhamdulillah, he's been like Muslim for over a year. For several months, he stopped talking. He was busy with his thing. You know, we kept in touch. Every month we would send him a message. Firstly, you know, we'll talk about the regular follow-ups. At some point, it became like once a month. Alhamdulillah, at some point, we now restarted the relationship. Now he's praying one prayer a day. He's praying Friday prayer. He comes and meet me every week. Okay, but the point is that, look, he became a Muslim, was like this, and it was like this, right? All the way flat, no response, no response, no response. And now it's again like this. So the point is, if it's not an upward trajectory, don't think that it's a done deal. It's a dead case. Don't think like that. Okay, same way. So if it's going down, it can also come up. So you don't know. Okay, so our approach, as we'll talk about later, is like a gardener. You try to do your best, and then you leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.